This epic pumpkin bread is definitely going to be your favorite fall bake. Hi, you're watching Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. This pumpkin bread is so moist it's going to melt in your mouth, so let's get started. Let's start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and lining our loaf pan. I'm using a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan and I'm going to line it with 2 sheets of parchment paper. It's a very simple and quick recipe. I'm lightly buttering the loaf pan so that the parchment paper sticks to it. I'm going to lay 1 sheet of parchment paper horizontally with a little overhang so it's easy to pull out the loaf. And then I'm going in with the second one vertically. And there you have it. Now let's start whisking up our batter. I'm going in with 1 1/4 cup of store-bought pumpkin puree. I prefer using the store-bought pumpkin puree because the moisture content in it is very uniform. Making it at home, sometimes it could have more moisture, sometimes less. To that, we're going to add 1 cup of white granulated sugar. For that super moist loaf, we're going to go in with 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. And this also gives that nice molasses flavor to the loaf. Now we're going to go in with our whisk attachment. And at a medium speed, we're going to start mixing it up. We're going in with 2 large eggs, which are at room temperature. To get that perfect loaf every time, it's important to have all your ingredients at room temperature. With our mixer on a slow speed, we're going to stream in 1 cup of vegetable oil. Now we're going to gradually increase the speed to medium and mix it so the oil gets well incorporated with the rest of the ingredients. To enhance the flavors, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of a pure vanilla extract. And to get that lovely moist loaf, we're going to go in with 3/4 cup of sour cream. Now that we have our wet ingredients all well incorporated, let's mix up the dry. For the dry ingredients, we're going to go in with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're going to start by aerating the flour because we don't want a dense loaf. We want it nice and light. So to get that exact measurement, it's best to measure by using a spoon and then putting it into the cup measurement. And now using a knife or an offset spatula, we're just going to level it out and then cut it off. So we get that exact measure. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And baking soda is going to react with the sour cream that we have used to create those incredible air pockets which are going to give us that lovely fluffy loaf. Now to bring out all the flavors, we're going to go in with 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt. For those lovely fall flavors, we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I always liked to grate fresh nutmeg because that definitely gives a better flavor. Just going to eyeball it. At this point, you could also add in some allspice or some freshly grated ginger. But I'm going to go in with a few slices of candied ginger, about 1/4 cup, and I'm going to dice it fine. I'm going to give it a slight cross chop so that we get some fine bits inside and the flavor gets well distributed in the loaf. Let's add this to the bowl. This ginger really enhances the spice flavor in the loaf. Let's give this a whisk and make sure that all the flavors get well incorporated. Wow, I can already get the aroma of all those incredible spices. Now let's add this to our wet ingredient. Now with your mixer on stir on a very low speed, we're going to spoon in the dry ingredients and we're going to mix it till just incorporated. Once you've added all the dry ingredients, you might still see some more of the flour that's not well mixed. but we're going to finish this off by hand. We're going to go in with a spatula and give this a final mix till we do not see any of the dry ingredients. Now we're going to pour the batter into the pan. Now let's level it out. And now let's top this with half a cup of raw pumpkin seeds. And it's important to go in with raw pumpkin seeds because this is going to be baking for at least an hour and a half in the oven, so they get nice and toasty. If you go in with the toasted ones already, they might tend to burn. We're going to pack it up with about half cup so that when it rises, we get a nice layer of them all over. We're just going to go down and press it a little bit so that it adheres to the batter. Now let's pop this delicious baby into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake it for approximately an hour and a half, or until a toothpick inserted in it comes out clean. We're going to allow the loaf to cool in the pan for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to take it off and put it onto a wire rack to cool completely. If you see these cracks on the top, it's nothing to worry about. They're very typical of a loaf. Now let's slice this delicious loaf and look at that. I cannot resist this loaf any longer, so now let's go in and give it a taste. I'm just going to cut a small piece off and taste that. Wow, it's so moist and fluffy. Hey, and if you're new to my channel or haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. And if you hit on that bell icon, you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. If you enjoy watching my videos, give me a big thumbs up and leave me your comments below. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The information is in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.